Dr. Tamara, thank you so much.
A pleasure.
And
pleasure to see you outside the clinic.
I know. And it's kind of nice, to be honest. Thank you so much for making the time today. And honestly, like, I can't wait to share so many things about the work you do. But if you would introduce yourself, what do you do?
It's funny because I've changed the way I introduce myself. I tell people I'm a chiropractor, and people think chiropractic, they think the first thing is cracking bones. But I like to think of myself more of a holistic chiropractor. I'm also a business owner, but let's go back to the chiropractic. I am a musculoskeletal and fascia specialist. So I deal with injuries and pain in basically the body. I love the spine, mainly the neck and the shoulder. Really, really love spinal pain, figuring out why people get pain, and holistic because pain is an emotion, and we can talk about that later. But pain comes from so many different aspects. You know, people come to me and they say, what's the pain from? Is the pain from this, or is the pain from that? But the pain can be from so many different things, right? It's how we feel, it's how we sleep, it's how we move or how we don't move. It's also how we eat. So the body is 4D in our movement system, and also 360 in our approach and how we need to look at it. And that's the approach I take to my patients and what I do. It's a lot more than just cracking the joints, but cracking is amazing. It's mobility, introducing mobility into joints that are not mobile, and understanding why people are having biomechanical pain. So that's a little bit more about, or in Arabic they call it taqwim al-'azam, but it sounds like but it's a lot more than that.
But to be honest, like everything you've just said, like I'm now like just recalling, it's a disclaimer, I'm actually a patient of Dr. Tamara for years.
And through different stages of your life.
Exactly.
Nice,
and I want to talk about that as well.
Pregnancy, through postpartum, through you finding your fitness, and you wanted to find your strength again.
Years
all
of
these
work.
Different phases, and understanding why you get different kinds of pains and aches, and how we can support you on that journey.
Exactly, and optimize on my body's function. I remember, I don't know if you remember how we got together the first time in terms of like coming for a treatment. I remember.
I don't. Tell me.
It was a long time ago. So you guys had I think you had your clinic in JLT at the time. And a friend of mine told me, make a trip to Dubai and see Dr. Tamara and you won't regret it.
Amazing.
And she was not kidding.
I'm so flattered. Thank you.
And I remember like telling you guys, open a branch in Abu Dhabi, and finally you guys did it.
10 years, 8 years after we opened Disc in Dubai. We opened Abu Dhabi, even though I'm born and raised here. So Abu Dhabi is my real home, but it took a while. And I think it was just more understanding the market. Are people open to holistic and alternative medicine? Because it is alternative medicine. It's not, I'm in pain, take a pill. It's, I'm in pain, let's figure out why I'm in pain. How can we prevent the pain? How can we move things in your body and move things in your fascia? Because when we do adjustments and we do muscle work, we're not only affecting the area, we're affecting the brain receptor. The brain controls everything. And that's why it's also important, and we can talk about this also later, but it's important for you when you're in pain not to be attached to pain.
Exactly.
So we do a lot of that kind of training to tell the patient it's pain, you should recognize it. It shouldn't control your life, but you should understand. You as a patient know more than any doctor can ever know. You know yourself. And for us, it's teaching the patient to be in tune with themselves, to understand themselves, to understand where is this really coming from.
I think this is a very critical point that you just mentioned. It's like a lot of people don't know the root causes. And I know that you guys do a lot of work, and you specifically focuses a lot on prevention. Can you talk a little bit about what does that mean for like your average person?
It's counseling. Literally, I'm a therapist. Like prevention is me sitting with you and understanding what's your lifestyle like. How can we introduce things that are going to optimize your performance? And you don't need to be an athlete to perform. You can be a person who wants to go to work every day and have a great day at work. You can be a mom that's standing all day, with her kids or in the kitchen and wants to get the best out of her day, not feel exhausted, not feel tired. It's really optimizing your life, feeling amazing. We're not meant to be in pain all the time. So for me, it's counseling the patient and asking them, like playing detective. So, what do you do in your day? What are your habits like? How do you eat? How do you move? How do you hydrate? How do you sleep? And we all have our naughty habits and our bad habits that we don't talk about. But sometimes you don't realize it until someone was like, hey, you realize that you're actually, yes, you go to the gym, but you're sitting 8 hours a day. This 1 hour of gym is not going to indicate your 8 hours of sitting. You need to get up more. You need to stretch throughout the day. You need to, we don't live in a very a movement-based community, you know. And here, the heat, the way that our cities are designed, it doesn't help. So you know, you go to other countries, you're walking from your home to your office, or you're taking the metro, or you're cycling. So unfortunately, our lifestyle here, not yet, hopefully that's changing, but it doesn't promote active movement. And believe it or not, the most important movement is what we call like the little, the very, you know, even if you're looking at burning calories, not just the gym, it's the little basic activities, getting up to go get water rather than saying, hey, get me water. You know, getting up to stretch and to get off your phone when we're sitting on our screens for hours. These little things that we do, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, these contribute to our health and our you know, well-being so much more than just going to the gym.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people also, like, they tend to forget, and this is a very bad habit, that, you know, like, prevention doesn't mean like, you know, you have to neglect it until you have a problem. No, you have to actually prevent diseases and injuries and things like that. And being active doesn't mean you have to go run a marathon.
No, not at all. It's so simple. And I always tell people, the body is actually so simple. Health, it can be so simple. And now we're also living in a day and age where we're oversaturated with wellness, you know, and we are in medical wellness because we are in preventative medicine. We avoid medication. This is wellness. Wellness is, you know, and we can talk about what is wellness. Everybody's like, I want to do wellness. I want to do wellness. But I'm like, what does wellness mean? It's feeling good. It's living well. It's, you know, choosing a life that supports you overall as a person, supports your well-being. But we're also in a market where people forget to go back to basic wellness. They want to spend money on, you know, now everyone's into biohacking. And it is amazing. Biohacking should mean going back to the root cause of disease. I was just in an amazing conference in Stockholm called Superhuman, and it was about, the host was amazing. I'm sure you've heard of Brian Johnson. And he has this whole don't die movement. And when I was so curious, because I went in with a different idea of him, but I fell in love with what he said. And he said, my don't die movement isn't about living till 150 years. It's about choosing yourself. It's don't die is every day making choices that are selfish to your health and wellness. Like, what serves me as a human? And humans, we're not supposed to stay up till 2 a.m. eating. We work with the sun. We have something called the circadian rhythm. We should wake up with the sun like a baby and sleep with the sunset like a baby. But we don't. We fight it with our lifestyle, our phones. And so going back to the root cause of wellness, you know, we're not supposed to be eating late at night. Our digestion closes at night. And then people tell you, I have indigestion, I'm gaining. You know, we're not supposed to overeat. We don't listen to our hunger cues. Everything is on demand now. You know, back in the day, we used to be hunter and gatherers. Now we have InstaShop and Deliveroo. We're even too lazy to go to the supermarket and prepare our own food. So going back to the simplest things, doesn't need to be complicated. And same thing with movement. We don't have to be overcomplicated. You know, you can walk, you can swim, you can do anything that challenges your body and puts different, you know, our bodies are so used to what we call homeostasis. They want balance. So if you want change, you have to shock the body. Even if you came to me and you said, I run 5 kilometers every day, I'll tell you, switch it up. Run one day, sprint one day.
But
one day.
That's what you guys did to me, actually. That's recently.
Shocking
I remember
your system.
Exactly. I remember coming in January saying that I've taken up running now 2 times a week, 5K. I want to do a big run end of the year. I have a goal. I work out strength training 4 times a week. And you guys sat me down and said, okay, that's a lot for your body right now. You need to introduce mobility and you need to introduce recovery, and for you to optimize your performance and optimize your recovery and optimize even just functioning. This was an adjustment that I had to make, that, okay, you know, sometimes I have to switch things up.
Definitely.
So it was really
But
interesting.
also, because of our phones, and we always see somebody, you know, shining, and we're like, I want that, and I want it now. And we don't realize all of these things are a process, you know. You know, even with pain, people come in and they're injured and they want to get better today. And I'm like, it took you, you know, 30 years to build up to this bad habit. It's not going to go away in a day. You know, it takes at least 21 days to get rid of a habit. Just like building strength, we are so impatient because we open our screen and we say, oh, look at this guy, he's lifting 100 kilos. And look at this person, she's running a half marathon. Probably took them 2 years to get to that. And consistency, it's like this, right? But as long as you're doing this, you have ups and downs. Every single person, even the highest performance athletes, and, you know, I've treated a lot of professional people. you know, it's hard when you're a professional athlete because you get paid to do something. You have to do it even when you don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whereas me, if I wake up and I don't feel like going for a run today, I don't go for a run.
Yeah.
Nobody's on my head. You know, you have to go today, you know? So they also have a very difficult life. But you know, they choose themselves more than anything.
Yeah. But you know what I appreciate about you and everyone actually within your team? The fact that you preach, but you practice.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's a lot of, unfortunately, in this industry, there's a lot of people who preach, but they don't practice. Yeah. You guys are super active as individuals within the clinic. I know that for a fact.
Thank you.
You guys are so focused on chasing education, awareness, and what's happening, not just in the industry, but around the industry. I appreciate that. I always say, if you go to a doctor or a therapist or a specialist and they don't invest in their education, that's a red flag.
Yeah, we need to invest in our health more than anything. I can't teach you something if I haven't experienced it.
Exactly.
And, you know, even a lot of people come to me. I see a lot of postpartum women. I have never had kids, so I need to learn from women that have had children, what they felt like, what their hormones are like, you know, how, you know, you push people to a certain limit, but nobody knows you like you know yourself. Yeah. I can guide you. And even when I go, and my parents, you know, that generation, like the doctor said, I said, did you question it?
Yeah.
Like, even if I say it may not work for you.
Yeah.
So you need to challenge that information. Yes, the doctor learned, but the doctor, trust me, how much you learn in school is so different than the amount of knowledge that's available today. And my patients teach me every single day. I learn something from someone every single day.
That's amazing.
You know, I feel, my God, my knowledge is like this compared to what's out there in the world.
Because experiences, life experiences. And going back to pregnancy and everything, I remember when I was pregnant, I was going through a lot of back pain, all kind of pain, my full body. Can we talk a little bit more about the importance of taking care of your muscles during pregnancy?
Yeah. I think people, I mean, obviously it's so hard. I wouldn't know. Some people feel amazing in their pregnancy. Some people feel sick throughout, you know? So it also depends on how you are and how your body handles a pregnancy. It's for some women, it's the worst thing in the world. Like I've seen women hospitalized their whole pregnancy. They can't get food down. Of course, for someone like that, I'm not going to push and say,
use me as an example.
You have to strength train. But for people that I can push and I can inspire to keep moving, because pregnancy is not a disease. It's absolutely normal. We shouldn't be afraid of our bodies and our transformation through that time. But we also shouldn't push to a limit of, some women, for example, hate being overweight. And it's mentally challenging for them. So
this was me.
This is exactly.
But I wasn't overweight. I was just like,
I'm not used to my body like this. Like,
I cannot do the same thing I used to do. So it was very hard.
Exactly. But it's also knowing your limitations. And not only pregnancy, we go through phases in life where our stress is very high. You know, some people experience loss of their family, loss of jobs, we go through stressful period in life. It's so important to understand where we are. And health is not only physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's so mental. And you have to meet yourself where you are, you know, and you have to accept where you are. You know, it's like when people are in pain, I also see, I have friends that like, I'm going to run 50 marathons in 50 days. And I'm like, let's talk about like, why are you doing this? Is it because you want to challenge yourself, or are you trying to run away from something?
Yeah. But you could injure yourself badly.
100%.
And then you won't run even one marathon.
100%. But it's again, questioning your purpose at every stage in life. And a thing that I was exposed to very recently, also at this amazing event in Stockholm, was somebody wrote, one of the doctors there, he wrote out a beautiful calendar, and it said, do you ever sit with yourself and say, what's my health plan? Or do we even sit and say, what's my life plan? Like, I can plan for this year, like I plan my holidays for sure. I want to go to here and I want to go to there and I want, you know, and for me, it's always revolved around fitness and movement and exploration and enjoying my body and what I can do and seeing different parts of the world.
I like this, enjoying my body. I love that.
It's such a, I tell people it's the only thing you have in life. Like nothing is constant. Your family is not constant. Your job is not, like, you know, God forbid, everything can be taken away from you, but this is the only thing you will ever have. Is this love, you know, it's yours. And when people abuse their body, it kills me. I mean, we all abuse it a little bit, you know, with our junk food and our sugars and our fun. And
as long as it's not a habit.
Of course, we're resilient. It's normal. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% this, 20% enjoy whatever, you know. But why would you abuse the only thing that you have in life? That's your constant.
And that's why, you know, Tamara, I always look at the people, like when they are in pain. I remember at some point, even before actually coming to your clinic, being in pain from an injury for so long. I got so used to it, thinking this is normal life. pain management is key, but a lot of people neglect it, and they think it's a quick fix. They go to a chiropractor, cupping, dry needling, physio, whatever.
And that should make you feel better to push you in the right direction. So what a doctor does is to give you the confidence to move in the right direction. The doctor will never heal you. The doctor will never fix you. Like what we do with the needling and the cupping is changing in blood flow, changing the brain pain perception, so that your brain's like, oh, I'm actually safe. I'm okay. Look, they're needling, they're releasing, the tissue feels better. I'm safe. Therefore, you feel more confident to get out and to move and to change that pain perception. Of course, if there's an injury, you need some time to rest, and your body has the time. You eat well, you sleep well, you give yourself the right tools to recover. But you can't just, pain is not normal. Pain is a signal. Pain is your body talking to you. You shouldn't get used to pain. You can get used to a little ache and because of our lifestyle, but pain is not normal. And for us to say, I'm used to pain, you're desensitizing your body. Just like smokers, they think it's normal. It's normal to smoke. It's not normal to smoke. Have you smelled clean air? Have you breathed clean air? It's not normal. It becomes a habit. And living with pain is not normal. Nobody, no matter if you're a baby or, of course, not at that age, or even elderly. You know, I have a lot of elderly patients who are like, إنه إيه عمر إنه خلاص I'm 70, I'm 80.
But still,
no, you shouldn't live in pain. It's not normal to live in pain. It's because you didn't take care of yourself for this many years. It's never too late to change. The body is amazing.
And I think for you as a doctor to hear a patient to tell you, it's okay, I'm used to it, I'm sure this kills you inside. Like,
yeah, it kills me inside. I understand there are certain situations. I've had a patient who's had 2 or 3 surgeries on his knee. And he's living a little bit in discomfort. But it shouldn't be at the point where it stops you from everything or from living activities of daily living, you know, like getting up, moving, getting in the car. You know, especially now it's 2025, like we have stem cell therapy, we have regenerative medicine, we have peptides, we have a million things out there. It just means that you are not doing enough. We are not doing, together we still haven't found the right solution to get you from point A to point B. But there's always a solution, and the doctor can't do everything. You know, the doctor does 5%, the patient does 95%, because you have to choose yourself every single time. You have to choose, no, I'm not going to go out till 1 a.m. at night smoking shisha. I'm going to go home early and sleep and hydrate, fix my nutrition, make sure that I'm getting my, you know, my peptides and my collagen and my, you know, my sleep and my hydration and getting all the things that my body needs so I can perform. This thing is amazing, you know. Even sunshine, by the way.
I love sunshine.
So important.
People laugh at me when I tell them, like, oh, I feel like, I know it's hot, but I feel like I need some heat. I need some heat.
5 minutes,
they're like,
10
what?
minutes. 10
I said,
minutes
I feel I need the
sun. This sun is our life force.
I crave it.
It's our life force. And we're lucky. We live in a sunny place. I think most people barely step out during the day.
Haram. Well,
you know, even in the middle of summer, you step out for 5 minutes. Yes, you sweat. It's free sauna. You know, enjoy it. So it's good for your heart. It's vitamin D that's so important for your bone health. And people forget that. I'm not asking you to bake for hours outside, but go outside.
5 minutes, as you said.
And this is natural infrared. At sunrise and sunset, it's natural infrared.
And it's good for your sleep as well.
Amazing for your sleep. Amazing for your sleep.
So I want to talk a little bit more about, you know, the relationship between having healthy muscles or healthy body and the mental health. Because a lot of people think it's just physical.
I know.
It's just performance. What your thoughts are on that?
I mean, honestly, the mind, as we were saying, the brain controls all the pathways in our body, especially the pain pathway. So switching, especially if you're going through something and learning, like, you know, when I was going through a very stressful period of my life, I didn't have the energy to train, but you know, my trainer was amazing at the time. He was like, he would play with me. He'd be like, let's play catch, and then squat and catch. And he'd make me do things that were, I was just laughing so much. I really enjoyed my session. Or for me, I'd go for like a jog with friends. It's a catch up. It's distracting. But it's so important that physical health, plus you produce hormones like serotonin, oxytocin, you produce all these happy hormones. You know, when they say runner's high, or you leave the gym, you always feel like you're in a good mood because you have circulation. And that's going to allow you to calm your brain. And it's a distraction, better than our phone, but you're in nature, or you're just present. More than anything, exercise makes you present. You can't work out on your phone. When you're working out, you're listening to your breath. It's meditative. You're listening to your breath. You're in the moment. You're focused. And this is a form of meditation. Not only the blood flow and the physical aspects that you're gaining, but the mental aspect. So a lot of people, they love stillness meditation. But for me, I'm not a still person. I love to move. And I find meditation in movement. Meditation and listening to myself breathing.
You know, like for me, I feel mental health and your, you know, like my bones, in my case, they're so connected.
Yeah.
Because when I get stressed, even though I don't have any tightness or anything, it shows in my body.
Yeah.
It shows in my body, and I know I'm stressed. My body is telling me you're stressed.
But stress is an emotion, right?
Yeah.
And this physical pain, it's energy in motion.
Yeah.
So what we feel in our life is energy. And if there's no way to release energy, you store it in your body.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling stressed, also what happens? We stop breathing from our stomach, you know? Look, most of us, if you put your hands here, you're not breathing from your stomach, you're breathing from your secondary muscles, your neck.
Yeah.
So we're like this, you know, you're squeezing, you're tensing, the muscles start to get super tight, and of course you're gonna feel pain. Your body's triggering pain because it's going from relaxed, parasympathetic,
to extreme,
to sympathetic nervous system. Your nervous system switches.
Yeah.
And then people that are in this chronic stress phase and chronic sympathetic, also being on their phone all the time, or we're overstimulated.
Or even like sitting in the office, you know, like there are so many bad habits we have, like even like just in the office, like people don't even know that there are simple things and tricks that they can do, exercises or stretches they can do in their offices while they're seated.
Yeah, like taking a break from your screen and not scrolling. Just sitting, closing your eyes, breathing a little bit, not drinking coffee back to back, you know. There's so many little things that we can do to help ourselves.
Yeah.
It's just habit, and we need to change these habits.
But you know what, Tamara, like I really want to go back to the topic of like really how a lot of people were giving me crap about doing chiropractor. They were like, oh, chiropractic is not even like a medical thing. This is how people have this perception of, you know, of taking, you know, doing a chiropractic session or doing therapy or doing cupping or dry needling and all of these things. So, believe it or not, we have people who don't believe in science.
But there's also, look, I don't blame some people because maybe bad experiences, you know, like I don't connect to every chiropractor out there, just like I don't connect to every therapist or every hairdresser.
But because you're holistic.
It's also, but it's also connection. There are ways that some people practice also as chiropractic. The adjustments are so powerful, but they're not the only thing.
Yeah.
You know, even some people, they come to me, they're hypermobile. They don't, like sometimes you come to me and I'm like, you don't need an adjustment. You need physio. We work in a holistic environment, an environment where we're integrated together. I tell you, because I said, I don't need to see you. I can do fascia work, but now you need to go see someone else to strengthen your body. You need to see Aline, let her help you with your glute activation, your posture work. So we work as a team, is understanding what the patient needs. But a lot of people do need that. And again, who's anyone to tell you what works and what doesn't work? What do you experience, you know? Like, people tell me homeopathy doesn't work. Well, I take arnica when I have joint inflammation and I feel amazing. Or I try things that work for me. You know, my mom is like that. Every morning she drinks her turmeric and her ginger, and she's like so, you know, and look at her. She's glowing in her 70s. I won't say it, but like she chooses herself, and she's like, no, this works for me. I have swollen stomach. I'm gonna drink you know, whatever the herb is. They have their ways, and we've used this for thousands of years. But who is anyone to question what you do? People can tell you, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, good for you, work for me. You know, like everything in life. Look at food. Sometimes I go out to restaurants, I don't want dessert. Have dessert. Come on, have dessert. I don't want it. I'm not eating sugar. Choose yourself. Set your boundaries. You know?
Respect yourself as well.
Come out tonight. No, I don't want to come out. I really want to go to bed early. I'd love to get 8 hours of sleep. I haven't already known. Oh, you're being antisocial. No. I want to choose myself in every situation in life. What works for me may not work for someone else. Or maybe they don't know, they don't have the strength to choose themselves. But I tell my patients in every situation, be selfish with your health. Be selfish with choosing yourself.
And it's okay if people think that all of these things of you, at the end of the day, you know what's best 100%. For you. You know yourself better than anybody.
100%, you know. Energy healers. I love energy healers. Some I really connect with. Some I'm like, didn't work, but I tried. I try. I put myself out there. I try until I find something that works for me. But the way it worked for me, but you're at a different stage in life, right? Every person is going through their life, their story, their experiences. So there's not for me to tell you what works and what doesn't work.
So in terms of like all the issues that we have now, like what would you say in 2025 are the top issues that you see on daily?
Get off the news. Stop watching that. It's stress for me more than anything. Like, people are more active, they're more exposed to moving their body, but I feel like we're so lucky to be where we are. We're so lucky to live here. We're so lucky to be an environment that offers so much. I really believe like we have so many options, you know, but number one is I see people are so stressed out. They're running like headless chicken. I hate telling people I'm busy. I stopped saying busy. If it's not a priority for me, I won't do it. but I'll never say I'm so busy. There's a lot going on. I hate that word. I hate that language. And people always tell me, oh my God, you're all over the place. You're so busy. I'm all over the place because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I choose to be, I choose to have a full schedule because it brings me joy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use the language that I'm busy. I like to be active. I like to be, I'm not a person that likes to sit at home. I do love to sit at home, but I do that on the weekend, for example, or I choose when I can. But I love to be challenged by my environment. I change my language because I don't want to feel stressed. Busy is stressful.
Wow.
It feels like this is what I learned the hard way. You know, I was always like, I'm so busy. Oh my God. And I felt
it gets to you.
Overwhelmed.
It gets to you.
Overwhelmed, not sleeping well, a high cortisol. And this is the biggest thing. I think people are really looking to find slowness in their life. And you can find slowness anywhere. Even Dubai.
Give us some tips. Give us some tips.
It's so crazy, but you can find slowness. You can wake up early and walk on the beach. It's beautiful. It's slow. It sets your day right. You can find a community of people that practice Tai Chi or yoga or Qigong or, you know, there's amazing places in Abu Dhabi that do that too. And you can find it if you look for it.
Yeah.
You know, I work with my hands and that brings me peace, but painting or pottery classes or cooking, you know, I watch cooking videos before I sleep because it's like that chopping. I'm like, oh, meditative, you know, but finding slowness in your life, I think, is something people are looking for because they're so overstimulated and it's constantly comparing ourselves to other people. You know, I'm on my journey, you're on your journey. My journey is nothing similar to your journey.
Yeah.
You know, you're in your postpartum. Okay. You could be thinking, I want to have another child. And I'm thinking, okay, I want to run a marathon. Our journeys are completely different. But stop comparing yourselves to others. Come back to simplicity. And I think a lot of people are coming back to that root cause. They're realizing, I don't want to throw my money at A, B, and C. I want to go back to the root cause. And this is why I love wearables, by the way. I love my Whoop, my Aura, my Garmin.
All the health tech
I love it.
items.
I love it because it's like, hey, you slept well tonight. And I feel proud, you know? Or last night it said, hey, you didn't sleep well. It took you forever to sleep. You ate so late. Tonight, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose myself.
Yeah.
So I think in 2025, with digital technology, with AI coming into place in healthcare, it's a huge step for us because people are choosing themselves more. And by choosing yourself, you choose to slow down.
Yeah. And they're more educated because they have access to data and it's their data.
100%. And it teaches you to put boundaries.
Yeah. So the stress is translating into issues.
Yeah.
And you've seen that like as
into pain, into biomechanical,
That's interesting.
I don't like to use the word issues.
I always
different kinds of issues.
I need to learn from you.
But into pain, stress, you know, I'd say 80% of my pain, of people's pain that come into the clinic is stress related. And you know, why am I having chronic back pain? Why am I having, and stress doesn't only need to be emotional.
Yeah.
It could be physical. Like you're, for example, gaining a lot of weight. Or not eating well. That's physical stress.
Yeah, because something is going as well.
It's changing the biomechanics of your body. You're doing something that, you know, I have one of my best friends, and if she hears this, she'll know. She's had back pain for like 2 years now. And I keep telling her, change the way you train. She doesn't want to change the way she trains. Training the same thing again. And I'm like, why? Oh, I have chronic pain. I can't even stand. Why are you doing the same thing again? Your body's talking to you and we ignore it. Take Brufen, take Voltfast, no, your body is telling you to change, but we're scared of change, right? It's uncomfortable to change. Change is so uncomfortable. It's easy to get up and do the same thing every day. But if someone tells you to try something different, we feel a bit like with everything in our life, you know?
Yeah. You talked about the spine earlier and how obsessed you are with the spine.
Obsessed.
Yeah. How important is it for parents to know about the spine, especially when they have young children?
I think
active young children.
It's so important, and it's also important to not not dramatize, but for example, scoliosis is a big thing with kids. People think scoliosis is not a disease. I say it's just a shape of the spine. It's important to be aware, but if you respect and love your spine, and why do I love the spine, by the way? It houses the spinal cord. The spinal cord is the center of our nervous system, of our movement, of everything, right?
Yeah.
Without our spinal cord, and we've seen people that have had spinal cord trauma and they lose the most important thing in life for me, which is movement, you know? Understanding and respecting your spine also understands and respects if they do that for children, they'll introduce movement at a much younger age, which makes their future so much better. You know, we didn't grow up with so much movement in our life. We did minimal movement, and we learned to love fitness at a later stage in life, growing up here. Yeah. So I see kids nowadays here and the amount of sport, and I keep telling them, you're so lucky. Like if I had what you had, You know, if my parents knew what your parents knew, my God, my life would...
You could be something.
Yeah, I'd be in the Olympics.
Yeah, I would be doing
it would be so different. But parents now are so much more exposed and educated. And it really makes me so happy to see, because not only do they challenge their kids in their physical, but kids are so much more structured. They're much more disciplined. I thought if I knew sport when I went to college, I feel like I would have been so much better in school. It would have given me a relaxation for my brain.
Yeah.
Rather than just studying all the time or letting out my anxiety on other things. But I really believe, like, nowadays I see parents that put their kids in sport. I saw a kid the other day, he was like 8 years old maybe. He was playing tennis. I was, wow. You know, wow. Or when I went skiing for the first time this year, I was so scared. And these kids were like just zooming. And wow, this kid's going to have coordination. He's going to have balance. He's going to have, with fear. He's a risk taker. You know, these things affect you in so many more ways than just the physical. So yeah, it's important that parents understand how to protect your children in terms of movement, how to, you know, in an environment like this, not keep them on their iPads all day, try to stimulate them. Also, it's hard for parents. I'm sure after a long day of work, the last thing you want to do is stimulate your children, you know, but it's a choice you make, and it's important to educate.
If you become a parent, you have to.
Of course, you have to. It's a choice you make. And then also understanding when there is a problem, how do I fix it? You know, you have scoliosis. Well, we have a million options. We have bracing. You have specific exercises like Pilates, or what they call Schroth method, that fixes the core or fixes the spine. So again, being preventative.
So basically, at what age can parents maybe consider if there's an issue with a child? Like,
honestly, I have babies come into the clinic and I love that. Sometimes, okay, parents are like over worried, but it's amazing. Like, parent tells me, hey, my kid can't move his neck to the side. Help me. What do I do? How do I stimulate them? And I absolutely love it from birth. I see some kids that come in, he's not crawling properly, or he has his own style of crawling. And by the way, there's many styles of crawling, which is amazing. But I'm like, yeah, well, this is how your child is. But again, kids are a blank page. They take the habits that they see around them. If you're active, your kid's going to be active. If you're sitting all day eating, your kid's going to sit all day and eat. You know, people come to me and say, I'm overweight, obesity runs in my family. No, it's a habit that runs in your family. Obesity is not a gene. You know, it's a bad habits that you have in your family that unfortunately you inherited, that you can change
and
that.
you continued with it, or 100%. You can change it.
100%.
I remember one of my good friends actually told me that she brought her, I think, son or daughter, I don't know, to you, and she was quite, I think she was like maybe less than 6 months, and she noticed something, movement, lack of movement or something like that. And at that time, that was the first time I learned that actually you can take a young baby or a newborn to a chiropractor or a doctor to help you do alignments.
And it's so gentle, by the way. It's not like a parent thing. There's no cracking, or it's very
but
gentle.
But even cracking is just a sound. It's not
but it's also
really
energy. We see a lot of kids with colic, a lot of babies with colic.
Yeah,
it's also very normal because their stomachs are developing, but sometimes they have trapped gas. We teach the parents how to mobilize the baby to release gas. We teach them how to move the baby to get, you know, and parents are scared. They don't know what to do. Plus, there's so much information out there nowadays. You read it and you're like, oh my God, there's something wrong with my kid. So it's important for you to understand. I see a lot of kids nowadays, especially here in this part of the world, we have help. So they're being carried all day by the nanny. They have delayed movement and crawling because they're lazy. You know,
we taught them to be lazy.
Exactly. We taught them to be
I'm sorry, but as parents, we taught them.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. So you have your child, you know, a baby, they want something, they want a toy. Don't put it, you know, let them work for it. You know, let us work for it. As humans, we will always take the easy way out. It's energy conserving. But we want to conserve our energy. Babies especially want to conserve their energy. So they will always take the easy out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, when it comes to well-being and taking care of your bones and muscles and all of these things, it's not just for adults or someone with an injury or an athlete.
For everyone.
It's for everyone. So parents should not be scared. They should consult the right people. They should actually explore, read, educate themselves. Like, I knew about the colic situation with the newborns and all of these things because I had friends who experienced that. But I was fortunate. But some people don't know. They don't know.
The worst for me is when a parent brings their child in and says, why does his foot look like that? I said, why does your foot look like that? Like, these are your kids. They look exactly like you. So it's not about aesthetic. It's about how's your kid performing? How's your kid feeling? And babies and children, they don't have a filter, right? They're going to express how they feel.
Like flat, you know, like some have flat foot or things like that. They suffer like that. Like, my husband has a flat foot. He He's always in pain.
Send him to the clinic.
I'll send him. He needs to be fixed.
Send him. Actually, in Dubai, we have an amazing, again, technology coming out all the time. We do now like a gait analysis through a machine.
I want this. I actually saw it. I saw it in your Insta story.
It really shows you your biomechanical issues, how the imbalances are in your body, and how you can work on it, and how you can fix it through insoles and through movement together. You know, not everything is one. We shouldn't take the easy way out. That's basically my biggest thing in life. Like, you need a little bit of effort, but taking the easy way out all the time doesn't work.
So from your experience, and I know you are very passionate about embracing technology, embracing innovation in the field, and always chasing education around it. What are the latest technologies or innovation that you're fascinated with, and you think that they're gonna change the way we do well-being, or at least in your industry?
Gene therapy. I think that's amazing. It's not in my field at all, but I think gene expression, for some people, we've inherited genes that affect the way we are. And I think if they have targeted gene therapy that can change the genetic expression for people, especially for me, cognitive therapy is so important.
Oh,
I mean, my dad suffers from that. Unfortunately, he got diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and it breaks our heart. He looks amazing. He's mid-80s, like physically, but he's not, he forgets short term, and it's haram. I see it bothers him. So if we can change gene therapy, like gene expression, I think that's incredible for a lot of people with cancers, people with, especially if you're genetic, not environmental, if your genetic roots are there, that's for me like, wow, it's going to change the world for sure. Stem cell therapy, that's very passionate. I'm very passionate about it because it is in my field. You know, back in the day, people lived with the meniscus tears and disc issues and even spinal cord trauma, paralysis. And now we see what we either taking it from embryonic and placenta, or my most interest is mesenchymal, where we take it from your fat, they grow it and they re-inject it into the joint, the spine, the area of injury, and it helps regenerate tissue.
Wow.
That's my biggest passion. Regenerative medicine is incredible because our body has the ability to heal itself, but if we can push it a little bit more with stem cells, now we have peptide therapy, we have a lot of things that we can do to help regenerate. We're going to live so much longer and stronger, as I say. And you don't want to live longer if you don't have health, right? Nobody wants to live in a wheelchair all day and immobile and you can't take care. No, but you want to live well, and you want to live strong, and you want to live healthy. And these are the things that I find are going to change the world.
What's a peptide?
A peptide is a protein.
I know what's a peptide, but I'm confused in terms of, because I feel like a lot of people are using it in different sectors.
So collagen is a peptide, for example. A peptide is a form of a protein, and there's a lot of peptides that have been isolated that you can now inject that help inflammation, regeneration. A very famous one most people take is BPC 157. So it's a peptide we also sometimes prescribe to people that have chronic joint inflammation and pain, and it's just to help their healing. It can work magic for some people, and other people it doesn't work. But again, it's not a one end solution. It's I'm doing the rehab, I'm resting more, I'm icing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm taking the peptide to help regenerate tissue. Really good for tendon issues, really good for inflammation, really good even for skin, for sleep, for all of these things.
To be honest,
peptides for weight loss.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because the only popular thing that I've heard of
Manjaro.
Like basically all the weight loss injections and the skin related.
So skin peptides, usually you massage it in, you can do microneedling and add peptide to your face.
I didn't know that it applies to your industry, like to your specialty.
And we also do this, by the way, at the clinic. We're also doing a lot of aesthetic stuff, because people that also do a lot of sport, they want to look good and feel good. And we try to do things that are regenerative rather than...
I like that.
Yeah. So
that's why it's holistic, it's integrated, you know, like you want to make sure that people get support 100%. Everywhere.
And that's why we're also growing what we offer. I mean, the team is mainly physical, on the physical sense, but recently we started diving into the psychology and mental health, because
I love it.
We work with people who have chronic pain and showing them pain coping mechanisms, how they can, you know, when you're in pain, what you can do to manage and control the pain, because pain can get out of hand. It doesn't mean it's not real, but it doesn't mean also that medication is the only way. There's a lot of pain coping mechanisms for chronic pain, especially people that have experienced loss or people that have experienced
trauma,
really
PTSD,
difficult trauma in their life, you know, that are experiencing and expressing pain in a way much more exaggerated than it should be. And it takes away from them living a good quality life. They can't focus, they can't work, they can't perform. So
I love this. I can't wait.
We have some amazing people that we work with that work in this field.
This is amazing, because I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people who I think like my mental health and how I feel and my muscle and everything is so interconnected. Like I know that
100%.
So I would love to come to one spot
especially as a
for
mom,
everything.
as a new mom, when you have a toddler that probably wakes you up. Like sleep is so important to our well-being, that I always, when moms tell me like I haven't slept and it's few nights in a row, I really like, oh, my heart aches for them, because if I don't sleep 2 nights in a row, I turn psychotic. Like I am not okay. So I can't imagine, like, and they tell you, oh, I got used to it. I'm like, how did you get used to sleeping 5 hours a night? Like it's so bad for you. But yes, your body just pushes you on because you have to go through it.
And running a business, multiple businesses, being a mom.
And women are not made to do all of these things. You know, it's unfortunately, this is why, like, finding your slow, finding your you know, I never used to understand when a lot of my friends many years ago, when they first started having kids, they're dropping out of my life like flies, they disappear. And I'm like, what's wrong with her? Why not? And now I'm like, oh my God, like, over the years, the more I grew, the more I see, my God, like I would cut everyone out of my life until my baby was like, at least, you know, independent, because it's not easy. You can't. They're working full time. They're running households. It's not easy. You expect it to socialize, you know, taking care of a human full time, 24 hours. It's a lot on your plate. And that's why it's important to find your slow, what works for you. Well, it's not going to work for me. But what works for you as a person, going into the gym, moving, do you need to lift so heavy? No. But getting that movement in your body, finding things that make you feel healthy and happy, that bring you joy in the food you eat and the way you choose your life, it's the most important thing.
If you would give like tips to anybody in terms of how do you look after your spine and your body and your muscles, basic, what would it be?
Don't smoke. Smoking really cuts out oxygen. It's the air we breathe. If you're breathing in that toxicity,
all kind of cigarettes,
e-cigarettes, everything. If you're a regular smoker, the number one cause of disc degeneration and disease and herniation is smoking. Like we see it. It desiccates the discs. You're not getting oxygen to your spine. So like, don't smoke. Really, it's so bad for you. Move every day. In any capacity, introduce new movements to your body. Now you see this animal flow. It's so nice. It's like dancing, you know. Our joints they don't only want to do this and this and this. Our joints also want to do this, and they want to be introduced, like they want to be lubricated. So move in any way possible, because if you're only used to doing this, one day you're going to do this and you're going to go, oh my God, what is that? My body's not used to it. So introduce different kinds of movements into your body. Sleep. That's you know, choose sleep over anything. Choose to get, and you know, men come to me, I only sleep 5 hours. I'm great. My body cannot sleep more than 5 hours. No, habibi. No, it's not normal to sleep 5 hours. It's not. Elderly, unfortunately, as people are aging, they start to sleep less. But it's also because they don't challenge themselves as much. A lot of them, they sleep all day, they nap. You're not going to sleep well at night. You're not going outside. You're not getting your circadian rhythm. But actually, people should sleep more as they get older, because their body needs more time to recover.
I never compromise with my sleep.
No.
It's like a deal breaker for me.
I used to. I do sometimes, you know, because something comes up and I'm like, I have FOMO. But I also like to wake up early because I like to be outside and it's hot here. But am I, you know, people tell me, oh, you're a 5 a.m. club. Wallah, if I lived in a country where I didn't need to wake up at 5 a.m., I wouldn't, you know.
But it's a choice you made, because that what makes you happy, brings you joy, and it's healthy for you.
And I like the peace, and I love it when everyone's sleeping and nobody's bothering me on my phone. Although nowadays people message me at 7 a.m., but I love the morning. I love the quietness. But you know, it's how you choose. But sleep is the most important thing. I will not get up at 5 a.m. if I'm sleeping at midnight.
No one wants to wake up at 5 a.m. unless, you know. That's a choice you made.
But sleep is, you know, for everyone the most important thing. Hydration and nutrition. People underestimate the healing power of food. Food is medicine. Don't abuse it. You know, we abuse it. It's so available and abundant to us. But hydration, of course, the most important thing for muscle health. So many people are dehydrated. I had chronic plantar fasciitis. The number one thing that got rid of my plantar fasciitis was hydrating.
Wow.
And not only hydrating, here our water is demineralized, electrolytes every single day. Every single day. We don't realize how much we're sweating because we're in AC. Drink electrolytes. It doesn't need to be fancy. You can put sea salt and lemon, and that's all you need. You know, you can do Celtic salt, or you can go and buy all the fancy electrolytes that make you happy. I like them. I love them. I love the flavored electrolytes. But drink good quality water every single day if you can. We're so lucky to have it, you know. And don't abuse food. That's the biggest thing. Food is not an emotional thing. It's fuel for your body. It's medicine. So if it doesn't look like it comes from the earth, don't eat it. or eat it once a week. Have fun with, you want to eat ice cream.
It's simple, really.
Simple
formula.
These tips are so simple. Make better choices.
Yeah.
Everything in life is a choice. We're so spoiled and we don't realize that we complain. No, we're spoiled. We're spoiled in everything.
Do you think the community in the Arab region, I'm talking now, are either lacking access to information?
No. No,
or just they choose to ignore.
Yeah. They choose to ignore. We are so... The stuff I see here in this part of the world outshines anywhere. Like really, when I go to longevity seminars, I'm like, oh my God, we come from the UAE. Like we are so exposed here.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, like you have everything. We had infrared saunas and ice baths on every corner here.
Yeah,
Go to Dubai, every corner, every gym, every hotel, every spa. What more do we want? We have functional medicine. We have everything.
We have the best clinics.
In abundance. But I think a lot of us choose to ignore. Yes, we have the best. Even I love summer. People tell me, oh, summer is a time to explore. Things slow down.
Yeah.
Best time to explore what your body can do. Explore what different things in your environment.
It's what's here.
Exactly.
It's you tell yourself it's not if you
we're
feed yourself.
So exposed. We just choose to ignore and maybe also geopolitical stress in our area helps us choose to ignore. But I really believe it's just everything in life is a choice.
Yeah. I feel like, like a lot of people underestimate that when you look after your health, your well-being, regardless what that means to you as an individual, especially in the UAE, we are so lucky. We have the best healthcare. We have, innovation. We have investments in the well-being sector. We have so many things changing and happening. It's a happening place for all of us. But if we choose...
Sorry to cut you off. You're so right. But if you think about food here, just like you said, we're happy with this, with that, but we're so fast-paced. Think about when is the last time you saw food coming from the earth? When you were young, I'm sure كنت تشوفي الذبايح and you used to say, this is an animal. We don't see that now.
Yeah. People don't make an effort to see it.
I'm sure if you asked your grandparents, they were gardening.
Yeah.
They were farming. They were growing berries and growing fruits and growing vegetables, and we don't do that. So
even buying from local farmers.
Exactly. But how are we going to appreciate?
Yeah.
How are we going to appreciate the food that we eat? We don't know that. So I think if we go back to simplicity,
go back to roots, to basics.
Yeah, grow stuff at home. Grow my mom grows herbs at home, basil, and teach your kids how to do that. Tell them this is what we use. This is the food. Let's make stuff together.
Yeah.
Get into the kitchen. Here men are the best chefs ever, but I'm a man. I don't cook. No, you should learn how to feed yourself.
But the benefit of that is not just the nutrition and where it's coming from, even the mental benefit of actually doing this.
So therapeutic.
It's so amazing.
Yeah. And you said something really important. You said you went back to our community. Community is the most important part of health and well-being. Having community. And one of the reasons I love it here is my family's here and my extended family's here. One of the reasons my parents are retired here, even though they met here 50 years ago, they were not Emirati, but this is our home because they have community. And community in health is the most important thing in the world. Surrounding yourselves with people that are like you. You inspire the people around you. I'm sure when they say, oh, don't do this, but they see, oh, Kauthar is doing this and she's training and she's doing this, people feel inspired.
Yeah.
And you are the accumulation of the 10 closest people to you, right? They say that. So for me, I like to surround myself with people that have the same mindset, the same, lifestyle, the same. I'm not going to hang out with people that are up till 5 in the morning partying and having dinner at 2 a.m. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
I don't have dinner at 7. No, even I fight with my parents. My dad likes to have dinner at 10. I'm like, why? Like, if I'm not eating at 7, I'm grumpy. I don't want to eat right before I sleep.
So. I can't sleep if I don't eat early.
So that was the last biggest thing is find your community, appreciate your community, inspire your community, work together as a community. Community is the #1 basis and foundation for happy and healthy life.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. So Dr. Tamara, anything you want to add before we end this episode?
I just want to tell people to choose themselves, and I'm happy you get to choose yourself, and I'm so happy we had this conversation. But make better choices, and always your gut feeling. It's always right in terms of how you feel and what's going on in life. Don't deny how you feel.
Yeah.
Don't diminish how you feel, but go back to your gut feeling when it comes to health and wellness. We know so much. We have our phones with us. So much information out there. Some things work, some things don't work. Take what works for you. And choose yourself every single time.
Yeah.
Be selfish with your health because we can get away with a lot of things when we're younger, but it adds up to our future. And one day we'll get to a point, oh, I wish I did this when I was younger. No, take that initiative now. It's never too late to change.
Yeah. And I'll say, take care of your spine.
Of course.
Forever.
That's the most important.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for this conversation.
شكر خاص لThe Bridge Wellness Hub لدعم هذه الحلقة.